open my ActiveInspire board as well. Good afternoon. So we are resumed back after our Cat1 examination. Your answer scripts are corrected and available for you to go through your solutions and marks awarded. I have done carefully that correction. I don't think there will be any more changes in marks required. It is taken utmost care and did. So you can just check whether what all you are not able to attempt answers all. No, you can see if I have put some remarks, you can see, right? So that's the purpose of making the results available for the students, right? I have taken care of giving you the step marks and so on. So there won't be any more changes unless a particular question is not corrected, it's not given and so on, then we will look at it what to do for that, right? So now today's class I'm going to discuss on those questions which are asked in the CAT paper. Especially we'll start with doing problems of trusses, because I've seen even in quiz 1 students have not performed well. There are many students only attempted one question out of 2 asked in quiz 1, and that also it's not clear. Maybe it was just before the CAT exam completed, you have to sit and solve the problems you have not attempted. So maybe today's additionally solving 2 problems would make sure that you have been properly understood this topic of solving truss analysis by 2 methods, method of joints and method of section. So there are 2 questions asked in the examination. The fee of the students, almost 50% of the class has been given one question, other 50% of the class has been assigned with the other question. So let's solve first both the questions, and then the next period we will solve some additional problems of module 1, what all asked in the CAT paper. So that's the plan of today's 2 periods lecture. So let me share my ActiveInspire board. Hope you are able to see this board. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible, sir.
So this is lecture number 14. Today's date 15/3/2021. CAT 1 discussion. So let's solve a problem of trusses. This question number 3B, second module. 3B question is what first let me solve, which is of method of joints problem. So you are given a truss. Let me construct the given truss here, which is of composed of 5 members. So you had a truss which is composed of 5 members. So the truss dimension is given this 4 meters. Again, this height 4 meters, and this entire width is 2 meters. And you had at this end a joint which is a roller joint, and here a hinge joint. And you have also got an additional member here. That's this member. So now the members are A, joint A, joint B. So you have AB member and joint C where hinge is given as a hinge. So BC member, and then you have roller D, so that you have member BD and AD. So there are total of 5 members. So it is a perfect truss that you can see members is equal to 2 times joints, 1, 2, 3, 4 joints minus 3. So it is 5 members. It's perfect truss. So what do you mean by perfect truss? It is statically indeterminate. So statically determinate. Statically determinate truss. That means we can analyze this complete truss, find out the internal forces acting on these members. So the question here is analyze this complete truss. So you could follow method of joints. So when you have to solve complete truss analysis, very first step is to find out the support reactions. So if I have to get the support reaction, I have to remove this support and provide there the unknown forces. So this is C and this is D. I would have here my reaction that comes is dy here. I would also represent the loads acting on this, which is given. So this is my Cy and Cx, I take it in this direction as the loads are given to the right. So there's 25 kilonewton load at joint B and 25 kilonewton load at joint A, which are horizontal loads. So this is your entire structure free body diagram. So using this, I can find out now the support reaction. So let's first find out what is dy. So for that, I will apply moment equilibrium equation at point C. So sigma mc equals 0, considering the convention always counterclockwise moment positive, I would be able to get my unknown. So dy into, this is the distance, perpendicular distance 2 meters is what is its moment arm. And this creates now counterclockwise moment with respect to point C. So dy into 2, whereas other 2 creates clockwise moment about point C. So it's minus 25 into 4, minus 25 into 8, that's equal to 0. So I'll get dy equals 100 plus 200 by 2, which is 150 kilonewton. So dy with this direction assumed is correct. Now sigma fy equals 0, which is second condition of equilibrium equation. I get cy plus dy equals 0. So cy equals minus dy, which is equal to minus 150 kilonewton. So cy direction, what I have assumed in this diagram, should be reversed. So cy would be 150 kilonewton down. But I don't change it here. Instead, I write cy minus 150, right? And dy as 150 kilonewton. And now, what is Cx? It's simple, that apply the third condition of equilibrium. Sigma Fx equals 0, assuming to the right all forces positive. You would have 25 plus 25 plus Cx minus Cx equals 0. That gives you Cx equals 50 kilonewton. Assume direction to the left is correct. That's Cx. So this is very first step, that you have found out the support reactions of the entire truss, from the entire truss free body diagram. Now you can solve for the unknowns easily. What are the unknowns? What are the internal forces acting on these members, 5 members? So for that, I can go from joint to joint free body diagram and then solve the problem. So the orientation of this members are important. So let us have this angle theta A and this angle here theta B. So how do you get theta A? So theta A is tan inverse of, opposite side is 2 meters, adjacent side is 8. So tan inverse of 1 by 4. So that's going to be 14.04 degrees. And theta B is tan inverse of, opposite side is 2 meters, adjacent side is 4 meters. So it is tan inverse of 0.5, that's equal to 26.57 degrees. That's theta B. Right? So having these orientations now, I can solve now the joint equilibrium. Applying free body diagram of joint equilibrium and solve for unknown internal forces. So we can start from joint C or from joint A. So let me start from joint A. So drawing free body diagram of joint A. Joint A, FBD. So how is it going to be appearing? At joint A, I have only one load, which is horizontal. So this is my joint A. I have this load 25 kilonewton and two unknowns. One is FAB, other one is FAD. The orientation of this is theta A, which is found out, FAD. So this is what is now FBD of joint A. So out of these two unknown, one is vertical, other one is inclined. So I would wisely start applying first sigma F x equal to 0 equation, because FAB will not participate in the equation. So I will get 25, that's plus because to the right, and this is also plus FAD. This angle is theta A. Theta A is 14.04 degrees, just now we have found. So that's going to be plus FAD. See, the angle is to the vertical. So adjacent horizontal component is opposite to this angle. So that's going to be sine 14.04 degrees. That's equal to 0. So now what is that? I'll get FAD equals minus 25 by sine 14.04 degrees. So if you work out this 25 divided by sine 14.04, you get 103.05. So neglecting the fraction value, it is 103 minus 103 kilonewton. So if you get minus sign, that's representing nature of compression. Kilonewton, compressive nature of internal force, FAD. So moment you get FAD is this, you are expected to update in this given diagram. So FAD I have got as compression. So I'll have to put the representation in this way. This is compression of 103 kilonewton. Then now I can find out what is my FAB by using the other equation, sigma Fy equals 0. So I have it here, FAB acting down, so minus FAB, and the FCD, I don't change here. I have found now FAD, I have found now FAD as minus 103. I put here as minus 103. I don't change the direction here. I know that minus sign is to be reversed here with the direction, but I do not do that. I put this value, whatever is found, as it is. So now looking at this arrow, its component, the vertical component is acting down. So that's minus of FAB, so minus 103. See this minus sign value I take as it is here. If you do not take this all carefully, you would get a sign change, and you would get the nature of the member, internal force would be wrongly obtained. So you have to do it very carefully. So I just take this value marked here and look at this arrow. So its component, vertical component is FAD cos theta A, and I put this value. So cos 14.04. That's equal to 0. So this minus of minus become plus. So FAB is going to be positive, which is 103 cos 14.04. So what is this value? So into cos 14.04, I get 99.97. So it's approximately 100 kilonewton. 100 kilonewton. And since it's positive, it is tensile nature, internal member. So FAB I get 100. So immediately what you should do, you should update that over here. So it is in tensile nature. So tensile internal force should be represented in this way. This is tensile nature 100 kilonewton. And now look at the joint B. I have two unknowns. What are those? FBC and FBD, right? So I can now use the free body diagram of joint B. So let's go to joint B, FBD of joint B. FBD of joint B. So at joint B, I have again a load which is horizontal 25 kilonewton, and just now we have found FAB member is under tension, so I can put that member FAB which is 100 kilonewton upward, and then two unknowns I consider to be initially under tension, and while solving, if I get positive values, my assumptions are correct. So FBC and the other member is this FBD, and this orientation of this member BD is given by theta B, which you have found out as 26.57 degrees. So that's all. These are the two unknowns here. Again, you see out of two unknown, one is vertical, other one is inclined. So it's wisely you should take a decision that let me first apply sigma fx equal to 0, so that FBC won't come in equation. One unknown, one equation can be solved easily. So this is the convention. Forces to the right positive. So 25 kilonewton positive at joint load, and FBD, so plus FBD sine 26.57 degrees, that's equal to 0. So I get FBD as minus 25 by sine 26.57 degrees. So I get our FBD value 25 divided by sine 26.57. So that is 55.89. 55.89. So approximately it's 56 kilonewton. 56 kilonewton. Right? And I get here minus value. So minus value. So that's going to be under compression. That's going to be under compression. That's going to be under compression, 56 kilonewton compression. What is that? FBD member. So you can update that in the given diagram. See, many of you I have seen, even you are not drawing this configuration, the truss diagram correctly. I don't know why you are fed up of, you are afraid of truss analysis, I think so, those students. Please don't feel that way, and it's very simple. So as we have found out now, BD member is under compression. See, how do you represent compression? It is to compress the joint. So you should put an arrow like this. And this is compression 56 kilonewton. Now only two more members are left, which are FBC and FCD. So for that purpose, let me take joint C. Right? Of course, we have not found in this joint B itself. I can find out what is FBC. So FBC, let's find out by considering vertical equilibrium. So like previously, which we did for the previous joint, same way. So sigma Fy equals 0. Considering this condition of equilibrium, I'd be able to solve for FBC. So I have already this 100 Newton up, so plus 100 and minus FBC, and now whatever FBD I have found is minus 56. So I will have here now, minus, so this component is downward, so minus of minus 56 cos 26.57 degrees. That's equal to 0. So now my FBC is going to be 100 plus 56 cos 26.57 degrees. So that's going to be 100 plus 56 point this to cos 26.57 equal 50. So this is 50. So I'll get 150 kilonewton. As it is positive, it is under tension. That is my FBC. So here now I have fourth member found out. So I can update in my truss. This is under tension, so it should pull the joint. So this is under tension and 150 magnitude, 150 kilonewton magnitude. So now what is left? There are two joints left, joint C and D. So I can use one for finding out what is FCD and the other one is for to check. I will leave it to you to check, but I will use now joint C to find out what is the internal force in member CD. So let's draw the free body diagram of joint C. FBD of joint C. So at joint C, I have CX is already found out, that's 50. CY is already found out, that's acting down with the value of 150 kilonewton magnitude. And now we have found FBC. FBC is what? 56 compression. So here it is. Sorry, FBC, we have got 150 kilonewton tension. So if this is under tension, so here I will have this is also under tension, that's 150. And then I will have here this unknown, which is FCD. So here itself we can see that it's matching. So this 150, 150 balanced, and you can easily get it from observation itself. It is 50 kilonewton. This comes from sigma Fx equals 0, condition of equilibrium. So, and this is again under tension. So I would have now a problem solved completely, and this value will be now this number is under tension, so it has to pull the joint, tension of 50 kilonewton. So this is that complete answer, that if you have got, you would have got full 10 marks. I have seen that students have not solved completely this problem. Maybe you are running short of time, and I've seen partially correct. Out of 5 members, 3 members you have solved, 4 members you have solved. Hardly anyone have solved all 5 members, but this is not going to be very tough. I think now you are able to look at it, how did I solve, and please follow the similar way, right? And solve any given truss problem. In your examination, final assessment exam, if you are asked a truss analysis, you won't be asked a very big problem. If it is a bigger problem, it will be a few members out of many number of members you have to find out. Otherwise, it will be a small truss wherein you can have maximum of 5 members like this. So both will take a similar amount of time to solve and can be asked for 10 marks. So with that, let us proceed with the second question, which is 3A question. Any doubt in this problem what I have solved now? Do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
No, it's clear, right? Yeah, we'll solve this and then we'll go ahead with the other problem from module 1. So now, see, this problem again is another interesting truss analysis problem. You are not asked to solve a complete truss analysis. You are asked to find out few members out of the given truss. So let me draw the configuration of the given truss. It is triangular truss. The overall shape, if you look at, similar to that of what we have seen in the previous case. In the previous case, it was vertically appearing with 5 members. Now this is the horizontal orientation, the entire truss. And if you see this entire truss, there are a number of members in the topmost here. There are 4 joints, right? And you see that you have another member vertically falling from there that forms a joint. Here forming a joint, there forming a joint like this. And also you had, because the triangular formation is what is essential to make sure that's a perfect truss. So you also had additional members like this. So this is what is the given truss orientation. So in this, it is supported how you got a hinge at the top and a roller over here. So it's simply supported truss, and it has been loaded at these joints. So let me name for that purpose. This is joint A, this is B, this is C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Now the dimension of this truss, this member AD is given by 5 meters, whereas the members in the top, all horizontal members, are given by 3 meters each. These are given 3 meters each. Now the loads on this truss are given at 3 joints, joint C, D, joint C, E, G and I, and all are of same magnitude. How much it is? 15 kilonewton. 15. Here again 15. Here again 15. So this is that given truss with the dimension, so that you can find out the orientations of these members. But in this question, now it's a perfect test that we can examine. It's not also needed, as it is asked to analyze 3 members. You can just check that. So how many members that it should have? That can be 2 times number of joints. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 joints minus 3. So 18 minus 3, 15 members. So you have 15 members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 members. So it's a perfect truss. Perfect truss. Now, all 15 members are not asked to found out. So you are asked to found out for 3 members. What are those 3 members? Member AC, this member CD, member DF. These 3 members internal forces are asked. So this is easier for you to solve by method of section instead of going for method of joints. Why? If I have to use method of joints, for example, I'll have to first draw a free body diagram of entire truss, find out reactions at this point A, reactions at this point B. Afterwards, you look at joint A, I have 3 unknowns. Joint B, I may have only 2 unknowns, but I have to find out 2 unknowns which are not asked in the exam. Right? Again, finding these 2 would help me to find out this one. Again, if I take this joint, I have 3 members. That's not sufficient. If I go here, I have 3 members. So you will not be able to solve these 2. So you have to start all together from I. So it lead to solve the entire truss to come back to this unknown to find out. So that would be very laborious and time consuming in case you are interested to find out these 3 members. In such cases, you should understand the method what we have learned. Method of section is quite feasible method to solve. So I should cut these 3 members by a straight plane. Section 1, 1. So I can consider either side of the truss as an equilibrium. Because if I cut the truss into 2 parts, both the parts of the truss should be under equilibrium. That is the concept of static equilibrium of a structure. So if I do so, I would consider now these 3 members are cut are subjected to tension. I will assume like that. These internal forces in these members are tensile nature. So if I consider like this, I am going to take now, this is RHS side of the section, this is LHS side of the section. So if I take RHS side of the section, I will not require to find out even the support reactions. I can find out these 3 unknowns. That's an advantage. So I would consider now right hand side of my section 1, 1 and solve for these 3 unknowns. That's all. Right? Consider right hand side of section 1 to solve for the three unknowns. Unknowns asked, right? So how do I proceed now? I look at this. So now out of 3, you see there are 2 are concurrent at point C. This FBC, FCA or FCD, both are intersecting at joint C, whereas this only left. So by taking moment at joint C, considering the right hand side free body diagram, I would be able to find out straight away what is this internal force in the member FFD, right? So this is FFD, and this one is FCD, and this one is FCA, right? So FCA and FCD intersect at point C. That gives me an idea that let me start first solving this equation. Sum of the moment at point C is equal to 0 for right hand side part of my truss, considering counterclockwise moment positive. So this will solve for this unknown, and I need a orientation of this. So orientation means this angle, that is this angle. Let us say this angle is theta. So how do I get this angle theta? Theta will be tan inverse of, what is opposite side to this angle theta? This angle theta, 5 by adjacent side is 12. So what is that I get? Tan inverse of 5 by 12 is 22.62. Many of you have found this angle, orientation and so on. That's good. So this is the orientation that I have. So now I can find out my internal force in FFD, right? So FFD to get is it when I take a moment about this point, right? I am able to get, or I can also do another way. Take moment about point D, I can get this. I am going to use it because why I am going to change it now is because I have here 2 components that both will come into the equation. So I can, instead of taking moment at point C, I can also prefer to take moment at point D. Why? Because the 2 unknowns line of action goes through this. So when I take moment about this, I'll get straight away FCA. So I'm going to find that. So when I have to take this, so FCA into this height. So how do I get this height? So that's what is here. So tan theta equals, opposite side is CD by adjacent side is 9. So the side CD, length of member CD is going to be 9 times tan 22.62. So that's going to be 3.75 meters. So this length is 3.75 meter here, whereas length of the member AB is 5 meters. Member CD now is 3.75. So let me now simply take moment at point D. So I would get FCA into this. So FCA, this is my moment center, this is my moment arm. So that creates counterclockwise moment. So that's why it's positive into 3.75. That's moment by this unknown. Then you see this 15 kilonewton passes through point D, that will not participate in the equation. Other 2 unknowns also passes through point D, they will not be in the equation. So I will have these 3 loads will come into participation. So that is all are creating clockwise moments. So 15 into 3 minus 15 into 6 minus 15 into 9. That's all equal to 0. So now what is my FCA? So FCA, if we take this all out, it's 15 into 3 plus 15 into 6 plus 15 into 9 divided by 3.75. So if I work out this, it is 15 into 3 plus 6, 9 plus 9, 18 by 3.75. So that comes out to be 72 kilonewton. 72 kilonewton, and I get positive value, so it is under tension. So that's all. So simple, right? So this is my FCA or FCA or FAC, one of the member which is asked in the question. So this I have got it. So assumed direction is correct. So this member is under tension with the 72 kilonewton internal force. Now other two, to get what I can do, see, one is vertical, other one is inclined, right? So now if I consider this side free body diagram, out of 3, 1 is found out. Out of 2, 1 is vertical, other one is inclined. So if I use my sigma fx equal to 0, I would be able to find out what is FFD. So I will use next equation, sigma fx equal to 0. Considering this positive, I would be able to get. So what is that I have? Since this member here is inclined orientation, what is my horizontal? So this member horizontal component is FFD cos of this angle 22.62 to the left, so minus. So I will have here, it is minus FFD cos 22.62 degrees. Then what else that I have? I have just found out this value, right? FCA, 72 kilonewton tension. So that also is there to the left. So I will have now 72 kilonewton to the left. So minus 72, that's equal to 0. So now I would get FD as 72 by minus 72 by cos 22.62 degrees. So that's going to be 72 divided by cos 22.62. That's going to be 78 kilonewton. So minus 78 kilonewton. So that's going to be 78 kilonewton compression. So this member is under compression with the 78 kilonewton. I don't know why do you make some mistakes. Your numerical values are not correct. I have seen many of you are trying to take left-hand side part, and then no, you make a mistake in finding out reactions or end up with reaction. There is no load. You are no panicking what's happening. That's all I could see from your answer. So you stopped answering only from finding the reactions. That's what will happen. So when you take left-hand side, you have reactions found. But now you see how many unknowns? The 3 unknowns. So you have to take moment here. You should be able to solve either way. But I don't think you've done it correctly. Many of you have fumbled in the exam, right? But you should do it carefully. So now, next one, what is to find out is that member FCD. So that's a vertical member. So I can just go for vertical equilibrium equation, third equation, and solve. So sigma Fy equals 0, considering all upward force positive. So here I have 15 kilonewton down, 15 kilonewton down, 15 kilonewton down, 15 kilonewton down, and I have unknown minus FCD considered to be tensile nature, so that's acting down, minus FCD. And I have the other one which is found out here, FFD. That's an inclined member, right? So FFD will have its, here FFD, whatever that I have got, say I have assumed here as tensile nature, but I have got it is compressive nature. So minus 78 I will put it here. So that's very important. Look at it, whatever I have got, I put it. I did not change in this. So now its vertical component is opposite to this angle. So FFD sine of this angle down minus and minus of this. So I will write here minus 78, minus of minus 78, sine 22.62 degrees. That's all equal to 0. So this is my equation. So now I take this on the other side. So FCD, and here I get 78 sine 22.62 minus 60. So what is that I get? This is going to be 30 minus 60, so minus 30. It is 30 kilonewton compression. So these are the three answers. So it takes equally the same amount of time as that of the first one. So you would be able to solve this problem comfortably, right? So how many of you have made mistakes? Or how many of you have not solved correctly, right? Many of you, because I've seen this, you have done, I think some 3 students have done it correctly. Otherwise, you have calculated this correct and you made a mistake here and here, right? 1 or 2 values are wrong. Everybody has found out this orientation angle. So you are given partial marks sufficiently, step marks, that you are not penalized. You are given marks for your understanding, but you are not able to get full marks because you are not practiced more. So do practice more number of problems, and that is going to help you. So any doubts? These 2 problems, what were asked in the examination? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, it's clear, right? So now let me stop recording and go for a next period.